Greetings, everyone, and welcome to 8-Bit Adventures Plays Dark Matter. I am Matthew Tucker, your Galaxy Master for the next couple months. Going on a little bit of a jaunt and taking a break from Jamora, allowing our DM to recharge his creative batteries and make some magic happen in the background, and give him an opportunity to be a player, because we all know that the regular DM really wants to play.
It is the bane of DMs, is never getting a chance to play anything.
Mm-hmm.
So one of the main purposes of this game is to give Sean a chance to play.
Yay!
So this first session is going to be a little bit unusual. We are doing what is commonly referred to as a session 0. So you're not going to be seeing a huge amount of actual storytelling and gameplay. You're going to be seeing a lot of mechanics. You're going to be seeing a lot of character building. People are going to start creating the connections. I am going to, during this time period, share some of the story that you're going to be experiencing. Because unlike Jamora, where Sean is creating all of the world building in the universe, we are using a pre-constructed universe. This is the dark matter setting created by Mage Hand Press. If you're interested in anything that we do here, you can find out more at magehandpress.com. They have all sorts of really cool, free 5th edition stuff, as well as information on dark matter. This is partially because I'm a crazy person and I don't have the time, on top of being a crazy person, to build my own stuff like Sean does. But I was part of the Kickstarter on this particular setting and fell in love with it and have been desperate to play it. And this is my opportunity.
Yeah, that's not terrifying at all.
So, Dark Matter is a science fantasy setting. The elevator pitch is space opera, all of the fantasy races, plus some aliens, go out and explore the galaxy. You will definitely see shades of Star Wars and Star Trek and Firefly and all of the big, popular and beloved science fiction settings. There's a lot of nods in the reference material to all of those settings, plus some unique stuff that really makes it kind of special. So in this session, we're going to be really introduced in their rawest form to our 4 characters. And this is a great opportunity for me to introduce our players for the 8-Bit Adventures Plays Dark Matter series. To the Galaxy Master's left, as we go around the room, there is Sean Robbins, who will be playing a fighter named Jacko.
Space Marine. Got a big hammer. I know how to use it.
That character goes out to Tales of Jamora cast member Joshua York.
You're my boy. You're my boy.
I'm really looking forward to that character. Clearly.
This is gonna be good.
It's so gonna be good. To his left is Courtney Bolin, who will be playing Cornflakes.
Hey, everybody!
A gnomish artificer.
Mm-hmm.
Thank you. To her left is our regular DM, Sean Hayes, who will be playing, I'm not even going to try to pronounce the name.
You can call me Lily.
Oh, thank goodness.
This is gonna be good.
High Elf Artificer.
Yes.
Very good. And then to his left is Chad Tarvez, who is playing a half-elf sorcerer.
Dragon Sorcerer.
named Autumn.
So we got nerd. Got it.
He's already in character, I hope you've noticed. So, part of a session 0 is talking about the type of game that we're going to play. Some of the stuff has been structured already. We've determined that we're playing D&D 5th edition. We've determined the setting is going to be a pre-generated setting on dark matter. There are a couple things that I'm going to set out as the GM as far as things that I want to see with play. One of which is critical hits. Unless anyone has a problem, I would like to keep the critical hit rules that we've been using in Jamora, wherein if someone rolls a critical hit, it's max damage plus damage. Yes. Another thing I'm going to note is, as a DM, I am more fluff, less crunch. So there are going to be times that I am going to look at the players and go, and how does that roll work again? And the players will all be trusted to give me an answer that is accurate as opposed to...
So a roll first, then decide how you're going to do something, as opposed to the other way around.
Right.
Yeah.
And there are going to be times that I will go, okay, how does that function? And then figuring out how that plays into the story. As opposed to other DMs who are a little bit more stronger on the crunch. It's just the thing that balances. Now, we use plot coins in Jamora. I am going to be a little bit freer as far as what the players can describe in the game and in the setting. Because one of the things that I really like about being in the game is having unexpected things occur. If I'm being a DM and I'm using a structured setting, and that's why you're not going to see any maps in this game, because a lot of it is theater of the mind.
There's one right behind you.
That's, well... Behave yourself.
Dude, no, it's only going to get worse from here. You know better.
I will also point out that you rarely see battle maps in Jamora either, simply because of the limitations of the space that we
Yeah, we don't have a
stream
cool
this in.
table.
Yeah.
But there are...
Handmade.
Unless anybody has an issue with it, I am going to be much looser as far as players telling me what they want to see in the setting. The two things that I'm going to ask that you not do are, number one, have anything that directly applies to an encounter. So don't tell me how a trap works. Don't tell me what enemies I'm throwing at you. Those I have in mind. I can stick them into a setting you've described, but that part of the building is stuff that I've done some work on.
I presume that if you directly ask us what sort of enhancements can be applied to said enemies, that is certainly up for grabs. And the correct answer to that, folks, is exploding acid sacks is always the...
That's always the answer.
I'm certainly okay with it.
It's already gotten us into trouble
They go
once.
squish when I smash them.
They do.
And of course, the other thing would be no taking away
Another character.
another player's
Agency.
agency.
Yeah.
Now, taking away a character's agency, presuming the player is comfortable with it, I'm okay with. If at any point in time someone is not comfortable with something that's being suggested, it's not the way you're describing. I know that certain games will use a something like an X card or another method of communicating that we are going into a territory that they're not comfortable with. I would like to think that this group is comfortable enough with each other that we know not to push past a boundary that is unacceptable. If at any point in time any of the players feel uncomfortable, say that you're uncomfortable, we stop.
Yeah.
Yep.
And whether that means we stop, we back off, and the stream goes dark for a little bit while everybody takes a breather, or because role-playing can get exciting, and sometimes it's a little too exciting, or whether that means we back up an action and do something correctly. We're having fun here. At no point are we going to cross a line, even if it's accidental.
Yeah.
Oh, that's lovely.
That's backwards.
Yeah, that's where I am today. As promised last night.
Would you say that sweater makes you uncomfortable, Courtney?
Oh, dear.
Yay, it's already starting.
It really has.
Now I'll switch it to break.
So,
Alright, so should we go dark for a few minutes?
I'm going to try and carry on.
Yeah, you try.
So a couple other things that I want to note. A little bit of a technical change up as far as sound effects for Dark Matter. Instead of running Sirenscape, which we've been using on Jamora, we are trying out Tabletop Audio at tabletopaudio.com. It is a fabulous free service, and we'll get a little bit of a different sound for the Dark Matter game. Other things that are of note, and this is where we will start getting into character construction. And you'll notice that, as I've sort of been chattering, people are still working on character sheets. The characters are semi to mostly built. People have their concepts. In many cases, people have ability scores figured out. For the ability score process, we went with a point buy instead of a roll or a standard array. Someone was cool enough to come up with an array of all of the options that come out of a point buy.
Yeah.
So instead of saying, okay, everybody do a point buy, I said, here is the list of every single possible permutation of a point buy. Pick your status.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Yes.
So now, everybody, is there anything that you want as far as rules, or do we want to go right into character stuff?
Let's do it.
I mean, I'm good just diving into characters.
Okay.
Squash first, think about it later.
I'm good with just jumping into character because I'm still trying to figure this all out.
Some of us are already there.
Sean, is Jacko gonna wear like big plate and have kind of a
At level
over the top German accent?
At level 3, a Space Marine gets their Impulse Frame, which is their Space Marine armor.
Yes.
So yes.
Yeah, yes, that's true. I forgot about that.
Yes, I'm wearing full Space Marine armor, pretty much all the time.
Cool.
I don't know.
So for glory, for honor, for Reinhardt.
Yes, I don't know that I can do the accent justice because I am terrible with accents.
I mean, nobody's as good as Darren Paul, so
it's true.
Except if he takes the armor off and then he's all oiled up.
It's true.
100%.
That is totally like an effect rule that
Yep.
I'm okay with.
Oiling up with the boys.
That's right.
Basically, my entire character is an homage to someone from.
Yeah,
Jamora.
from Jamora. So
There'll be a lot of inside jokes. I apologize in advance for that.
Sean is using a and I can never remember the various class specialty words.
Space Marine.
the
I think
easy
Dark
way is just
Matter calls it a
subclass.
subclass.
Right,
Yeah.
the subclasses.
Yeah.
So there is a special Space Marine subclass in Dark Matter. And that's what he's using. And that's fantastic.
Yep.
And it actually has a rule where you get a suit of robot armor.
Got my power armor. Oh yeah.
Or would you say you're jacked up and good to go?
Jacked up and ready to go.
I already like this guy. Just met you like 10 minutes ago. And I'm already excited.
Oh, that's right.
That's right.
Because you
You
weren't
could
there
put a
for
little
the
more timbre
holiday
Right.
special.
in the voice, and then just be like, "Well, it's about damn time."
I've had that thought. Because I do have the minigun.
Hey, Jimmy.
I do have the minigun. I had that thought. I'm definitely a combination of Tychus and Jacobin.
Nice.
All right, so Gadgeteer. And Sean, we decided that proficiencies as far as artificers are concerned, we're going to match the Gadgeteer proficiencies,
Well,
right?
so, okay. That was the thing, is I know the Gadgeteer gets a lot of tool proficiencies. Whereas, like, Artificers, like, you get Tinker's tools, you get Thieves' tools, and then you pick one other set. Whereas
That's true.
Gadgeteer's like, here's these 5.
That's very true.
Yeah. So, I think what I can't remember what I did. I ended up with 1, 2, 3, 4.
But it was the skill
6.
proficiencies. Choose 3 from.
Yeah.
Now, an artificer gets 3 from, or
Artificer, I think, only gets 2.
only gets 2.
Artificer, I actually
Okay.
have it brought up right here.
But the skill list will be the same because
Right.
there are some different skills.
Actually, yeah, I think it was basically adding data and technology in there, and piloting.
Data technology and piloting. Yes. Yeah. Everything else is standard.
Yeah. And it seems like everybody gets piloting. So
Yeah, piloting is
Yeah.
pretty
I got
normalized.
I also have piloting.
Yeah, Space
Now-
Marine got it at level 3.
Now, a
level
little
2.
bit of a background thing as characters are developed this evening. I have told all of the players that they have a shared history. Everybody's starting at level 5. Their background is completely dependent on the background that they pick. But as a group, they have been working as professional scavengers, which in some ways is very similar to what you would imagine a fantasy D&D adventuring party to be. To a very large degree, they're professional scavengers, grabbing fancy things from dangerous places. They have been working the job board up and until recently. The session that we are going to start after everybody's characters are built and everybody's comfortable, they are going on a mission for a dwarven benefactor who is hoping to hire them for some contract work, but wants to see if they are capable of handling themselves in the sort of situations he's going to be sending them into. So that is the backstory and the tavern avoidance mechanism. Because everybody starts their party in a tavern, it is cliche at this point.
Tavern at the center of the universe.
No, it's the shawarma place.
Ah, yes. Nice.
The real question is, are caravans now becoming too much of a trope?
Yeah.
Caravan.
Since that was
Yeah,
the move
caravans
that
are
everybody
becoming
started
a big,
going to
like-
after taverns became too much of a thing. Everybody's
Yeah,
like,
you got hired.
you've all been hired to guard a caravan.
That's right.
Or you were all just on a caravan. I know that's how
You're
High
traveling
Rollers-
as a group.
High Rollers started
Yeah.
one of their campaigns that way.
Yep.
Both of their campaigns that way.
Yes, I mean it's associated with caravans, which I think is the default for like Pathfinder, maybe.
New
Uses that a
trope,
lot.
same as the old trope.
Maybe.
Basically.
I think the last Pathfinder game I played, it was the Caravan.
So, yeah. Okay, so let's get back to making
Yep.
Autumn. So where do we leave off? So we got your ability scores.
We decided that we're going to do the Dragon Ancestor.
Dragon Ancestor. Oh, which Dragon Ancestor do you want?
Oh, I have choices.
You have a choice.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
I remember this. Okay.
Sadly, Wizards, even though they've printed
you
Sapphire
have
Dragon for their anniversary edition,
The copy of the Dark
it's not
Matter
available
book, so I can take
right
a
now.
look at the Star Gnome stuff.
Think I went with Gold Dragon
Yes.
last time, so I
I
think
have
I want to do
Because-
that
my
again.
phone.
okay.
You have it?
So that
Okay.
basically gives
'Cause
you a
I could
choice
I got the
of
PDF on my phone.
Yeah, that's
your
totally
breath
fine.
weapon and your
Let me
resistance.
find the right
Cool.
page for
So
you.
gold would be
Just
fire.
because, like,
Yep.
Yeah.
I've been trying and it's
So.
just, it's been a hell of a week.
So should I
Where
write
did all of
fire?
those dice come from?
So you will have under resistances, you can write fire
Where are my resistance?
right up here.
I do.
Yeah, these character
Yes,
sheets
my
are laid
whole-
out a little
That's your whole set?
weirder.
Yeah,
I like
I got a
them. They're
couple
kinda
miscellaneous ones scattered all
spacey.
over. But
Yeah.
Yeah, no, 'cause
also,
I need help.
this means that you have scaly skin.
what dice?
Yes.
No,
So
getting,
your armor class
getting this set.
is 13 plus your dexterity modifier.
Ooh.
All right. I don't think I do have that. I don't have
That
my
works, too.
modifiers in Go yet.
Okay, so with a 14, your modifier is plus
Thank
2.
you.
Sure.
So that means your armor class is 15.
All right. There's that. And then what about? I feel like we probably should get the rest in.
Sure. So strength, with an 8, you have minus
sorry,
1.
yeah, there we go.
All right.
Charisma, you have 16, so that's plus 3. Wisdom and intelligence at 13 are going to be plus 1.
Also,
And then constitution
what kind
is
of
going to be
crazy
plus 2 as
languages
well.
are there? Like what are like new ones that
So
like,
you said
an ex-soldier
15?
might
All right.
have?
That is a good question. Let me
Because I have common.
look up the answer
And so
to that.
But I
before
get
we
another
were
one.
doing it, we had Fey Ancestry. Does this change?
That does not change.
Okay. And but I do have Dragon Ancestry too.
Technically, so the Dragon Ancestry just gives you... Actually, does it give you that resistance? I might be confusing that with Dragonborn. I don't think you
I
actually
think you
get...
are confusing that with Dragonborn.
What's up?
Oh, wait. Damage type. Okay. So... Oh, yeah, you don't get fire
Clovis doesn't
resistance.
wanna work
Never
for me, keep giving
mind.
him
That might be
your
later.
But I do speak Draconic.
You do speak Draconic.
It's just been a shit week trying to get everything together.
Yeah.
445 instead of returns.
Cool.
So I would say very much what languages you
Is
might
this
have
part up
access
here
to
important for
are
me?
dependent
Oh, okay.
on
Proficiencies. So
who and what you primarily fought, because it would probably make sense for you to know the language of the enemy.
Makes sense.
So, what race are you again?
Human.
Orc,
Human. Well, but
or goblin.
Human.
so
Or Orin. Or
There-
whatever, celestial.
there are two human regions. There is a very sort of United Federation of Planets meets Warhammer 40k kind
The
of
Human
region.
Imperium?
The Human Imperium.
They were previously ruled by a lich.
Very
Yes.
Cool. I'm looking at the map behind you. It's
Yes,
saying it's still got a few
which-
things. That's why I'm not looking at you because I'm
No,
trying
you're
to,
looking past me,
Yeah.
and I'm totally okay with that.
I think that's also where like Earth proper is supposed to be located in, right? 'Cause
So-
is that what High Terra is supposed to be?
So, fun fact: in the dark matter universe, our Earth exists. So there are mechanically, magic is the primary way that everybody travels and does things. Gnomes are weird because they have this thing called science.
Yeah, we do.
Nobody uses science except the gnomes. But the thing is that the
Flashbangs.
sort of weapons of mass destruction in the dark matter universe create anti-magic zones. So they make it impossible for magic to function. So one of the main things that gnomes are capable of doing is traveling in areas where magic is dead.
Nice.
Our solar system is in the middle of a dead magic zone.
Is it that tiny little dead magic zone, like on the
Yes,
kind
the one marked
north,
Sol
lower?
on the
I
map
don't actually
behind me
see one marked Sol
is.
behind you.
That's okay.
Oh, you know, it's way down at the bottom now.
It's way
Okay.
down at the bottom.
Yeah. Okay.
So it's possible to go visit Earth. We're not going to, but it's possible.
Earth is overused anyway. It's fine.
So there are the two human areas. There is the hegemony of man, the capital of which is High Terra. That is, again, sort of United Federation of Planets meets Warhammer 40K. And then there is Lakshay,
Okay.
which is...
Maquis.
They are inspired by anime mecha.
Perfect.
So
So, Evangelion?
Gundams and
Robotechs and
Robotech and even Sentai.
They have the largest standing army because they border orc war space.
of course, yeah.
Right. So there is a hot war zone along a neutral area between Lakshay and the Orc war zone.
I see that.
So if you were a Lakshayan space marine, then it would be logical that you knew Orcish. And it would be logical that you might have familiarity with piloting a battle suit.
Yeah, we're going with it. Orcish it is.
Which is a much larger version of your battle suit.
Yep. My impulse frame.
And as a sort of a mechanical note, if you are Lakshayan in your background, then that sort of Gundam-esque geometry is what your impulse frame would look like.
Okay.
Whereas a hegemony of man would be a little bit more Warhammer
Rounder.
40K Space Marine.
Okay. I like it.
All right, so Autumn, we got to pick your skills here. So you get 2 skills from being a sorcerer, and then I think you get 1 skill from being a half elf. So let's pick the sorcerer ones first because you have a limited selection.
Sure.
The only thing I don't know is what sort of extra skills are available.
They're in the book somewhere.
Yeah, I don't have it in print.
So what are we looking for?
The added skills for the sorcerer class.
All right, so Sorcerer.
I also keep getting disconnected from the Wi-Fi, so
Sorry.
I had downloaded the PDF on my phone because I figured that was going to happen.
that's smart.
I want to try something.
That's good thinking for a space marine.
You got to think ahead in combat, son.
All right, so Sorcerer skill
Save your life
proficiencies
someday.
are data piloting and technology. So those are the added proficiencies.
Okay, so you choose 2 from Arcana, Data, Deception, Insight, Intimidation, Persuasion, Piloting, Religion, and Technology.
Okay. Are there any, with the new ones that are out, are there any benefits to,
Oh,
is it
That's
better to
why
go with one of those too?
I couldn't
Or is
do
there
that.
like,
What are you trying to do?
was
I
trying to
don't
email
know.
it to myself.
okay.
I would say it's very dependent on what you want your
do it.
characters feel and design to be. And it also plays in a little bit to, I wouldn't say you should be designing your character around everybody else's character. But if you've got people who are already tech-centered, it might make sense to head in a more esoteric direction because the tech-centered characters are going to be weaker at that sort of a thing.
I would also argue, as a sorcerer with a high charisma,
Oh, you're the face.
is picking up social skills might be good.
Okay. So probably like intimidation and or actually Arcana and Persuasion. Is
So, yeah, I mean, those are 2 good ones. Arcana is sort of the study of magic and how magic works. Persuasion is negotiating through diplomacy. So yeah, I mean, those are certainly if.
And I would say persuasion makes more sense for your character than, say, intimidation. Because intimidation is more in
more
Jacko's wheelhouse.
I ain't no space marine.
Well, and intimidation is...
Or deception.
That's true. So persuasion is coercion through diplomacy. Deception is coercion through lying. Intimidation is coercion through
Scaring them.
threat of force.
Intimidation is being a bully.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think I'm gonna go with Arcana and Persuasion
Okay.
because that seems like my character. Do I write this down
Okay, so
anywhere?
it's just gonna
so,
be easiest for me just to do.
I would say the easiest way to do
regular
it. So,
gnome, the
under
rock gnome
proficiency
through,
bonus up here, you can put +3 in that
words.
box.
Yeah.
What's your email?
So what that does is for those two skills, you're gonna take your proficiency bonus and then add your ability score modifier to that for those two skills.
Okay.
So Arcana, your bonus is gonna be +4.
Do I
So
put a little circle in there?
Tuck.
Yes.
I'm not sure.
Instead of proficiency in Tinker's
I would say it might be
tools, which I
helpful to
would usually
notate
get,
Yes.
somewhere.
there is the option I was seeing for
And
circuitry
then
kits.
under
Yes. Is it
persuasion,
okay
you're gonna
if I
put
swap
+6.
those out?
Absolutely,
And
yes.
it's up here.
I mean, they're basically the same thing, but just that one's,
Well, they
they act a little bit
so
differently.
why don't we
but,
go over
but
to your
for-
bonus half elf one? Now,
It
for the
doesn't
half
make
elf
sense
one,
usually
it's
to have the Tinker's
any skill.
tools
so
Okay.
you're
in a
not limited
more
to that
sci-fi
list.
setting.
Yep.
I think.
Excuse me. I don't know. I think this is the first time that I'm
Do I
playing
get
like
a
a
nature
really
Actually, I don't think you. I don't
big
think you do
spellcaster.
get a bonus skill.
Good.
Hey, I never would have had the
think that's if
courage
you're
to
a
do this
base
before
half
D&D
elf.
Beyond.
So
Oh,
because
not.
you're
Not
a,
even
you're a
gonna
half
lie.
wood elf.
Yeah, D&D Beyond is really helpful for that.
It is. It
Oh,
let
so
me
you can
be
forego
Natalia,
getting a
my
bonus
bard.
skill, and instead get
Yeah.
elven weapon
Just
training,
For keeping track of spells. and spell
fleet of
slots.
foot,
Oh my god. So
That was the thing that always got me.
Just
or Mask of
click.
the Wild.
Yep, used it.
What are fleet of foot? Is like the ships and stuff.
Fleet of foot is your speed is 35 feet
Oh, okay.
instead of 30
Okay.
feet.
And then the Mask of the Wild.
You can hide if you are partially
doing hit
obscured
points?
by any natural phenomena.
Oh,
Normally you need like full cover in order to hide.
Okay.
Group attention, everybody. Hit points.
Yes.
My feel on how to handle hit points is maximum first level. Roll. We can do a couple things. We can do an average. We can roll at. So my instinct on it is at each level you decide take half or roll. So
Yeah.
it's sort of your call as you develop the character.
Yeah, that's standard rules.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I can have a prosthetic limb.
You
can.
totally can have a prosthetic limb.
You can.
That's absolutely allowed.
That is in fact a magical. So there are magical prosthetic limbs.
Yeah.
There are.
That technically require attunement.
Yes.
There's an even better one, which you get a rocket hand.
But no, I want something magically to go wrong with it and get my red arm that
I told you she was gonna just like remake basically
It's
her
all-
old May character.
I'm okay with that. I'm totally okay with that.
Which is funny because Sean's remaking kind of Andy's old mech pilot character.
yeah, no, great.
For the last time we played a sci-fi game.
Yes, I totally yep. I didn't realize that I had that ability or like that
Oh, yeah.
that option. So yeah.
Yep.
Yeah.
Alright.
So yeah, so you have those options available.
I'm gonna go with Mask of the Wild.
Mask of the Wild. Okay. So that means that you don't get a
What does
bonus skill.
prosthetic limb?
Now I
Okay.
can roll. That is beautiful.
What do you think So which one would I get the bonus skill with? Just out of curiosity, 'cause-
You would do skill versatility,
okay.
which is just you just get a skill.
Sean.
Yeah.
Yes.
Sean Hayes.
Apologies, Chancellor.
Mechanical question. A maul is a
Two-handed hammer.
but it's a martial weapon.
It is a martial weapon.
It's not an exotic or something.
Nope.
Okay.
There are no
Have
exotic
those,
weapons
yeah.
in it.
Oh, that's right.
Yeah.
Okay.
It's so simple
Th-
now.
This is what I'm talking about.
Yeah.
The only weird weapon is the net.
Right.
But why anybody would use a net, I don't know.
Entangle.
Now speaking of equipment, presuming no one has purchased their equipment yet, because of where we are starting, everybody gets
Everybody gets one.
their starting equipment. Everybody gets 500 gold points, or gold pieces, sorry, plus 1d10 times 25 gold pieces. And then you may select, regardless of price, an uncommon or a common magic item.
Oh boy. Okay. How much did you say as a base to start with? I'm sorry.
Maybe 170.
500 gold.
500.
500. Okay.
500 plus 1d10 times 25.
Yep.
75.
So I
The
guess.
starting equipment
So I get
that comes with your
175
class.
Yep.
Yep.
And then an uncommon or worse
Or less.
starting magic item.
Okay.
So common or uncommon, basically.
Yep.
Oh, is that one?
So if you fall in love with a common item, I'm not going to say it must be an uncommon item. As long as it's not rare or better,
Chances are you'll probably want to pick an uncommon item.
probably.
I don't know, dude. I've already got my limb.
As a note, I'm fairly certain some of the magical replacement limbs are classified as uncommon items.
Okay.
So,
so the
if it's an uncommon item, I'll allow it.
the standard prosthetic limbs that are just serve as limbs
Yeah.
are common.
Okay.
The rocket hand one, I believe, is very rare.
Well,
I can't get. Yeah.
I would expect.
Let's put it this way. I'm plugging it all into
Because
Beyond.
it's you fire the rocket hand and you punch people and then it comes back to you.
Oh, that would be like having a returning weapon.
Yes, it's your fist is a returning weapon.
That's so cool.
Yes, it's very cool.
Okay, so quick question. I was
Yes.
reading in the player book that, and obviously I'm a half elf, so this is a little bit different.
Yeah.
But what elves have nature bonuses? Do I?
No,
Okay.
they do not
said
get a bonus to
uncommon?
nature.
Okay, so if I were to
Yes.
choose
Yeah,
another
common
skill,
or uncommon.
I would.
You could pick nature, yeah.
All right.
So
I think,
and you
seeing
can
as I'm
use
gonna have an animal
anything
and
that's
everything,
available
I think I should go
in
with
the
animal handling,
DMG
just that
as
makes
well as
sense,
anything
instead
that's
of-
available in the Dark Matter.
Maybe so.
book.
Maybe.
Quick pause.
Yes.
Yep.
Everybody roll a D100, please.
Wait,
Yes,
so
Yay.
you have an actual
Yay.
D100? Yes, you
Sure do.
do.
What is considered a D100?
Yes, I am.
So you're gonna roll this one, and that's gonna be the tens column, and then
Okay.
you're gonna roll the d10, and that's gonna be the ones column.
30.
Jacko has a deck of playing cards from the glamorous space casino Hotel Horizon, which orbits the planet Concordia. Everybody's getting a trinket.
Cool.
So this
It's
is
funny.
a neat thing that has no deep mechanical meaning, but might add a little bit of flavor to their character development.
It's funny because as a soldier, it said that I got either like a small game set or deck of cards. So I already had deck of cards written down.
Yeah, so
So that just gives it flavor.
So there's background for your deck of cards.
You get 2 decks of cards now.
Yeah, take it out and play it in your special deck,
I like it.
Oh, it's like having a deck that has nudies on it.
kind
Yep.
of. Yeah, that's right.
17.
17. Cornflakes has a datapad containing thoroughly encrypted data. It only has 3 access attempts remaining.
Okay.
So it's not your data pad.
Right.
Maybe. Or maybe it is and you just forgot the password.
Oh, I'm totally going with I forgot the password.
The information is encrypted, and if you try 3 more times, it will be deleted.
Unless you somehow magically get it right.
Or
Scientifically get it right.
plot something.
Plot. 41.
41.
I will note, as was brought up on one of the newer D&D show panels, not in this book, but in the player's handbook, a roll of 69 is a knob. Chris Perkins was pretty proud of that one.
Nice.
That's awesome.
It's like a crystal knob.
Terrible.
He was
Where's
pretty
the
proud of
thing
that.
I was looking for.
Lily has a novella detailing an apocryphal. Thank you. I don't know why that word would not come out today. Assault of tripods on a small unnamed world.
Define the word that you were trying to trip over, or that you were tripping over. What does that even?
Apocryphal, meaning it is not. It's been determined, or it's believed to be non-factual. So no one can confirm that it is true or not. I'm trying to think of an example, like a pop culture thing.
Like, are
that
we
is
talking like
apocryphal.
Sasquatch type of deal?
Yes.
Well, all right.
Kind
So, for example, a pop culture thing.
Yeah.
The Star Wars books, the extended universe, before Disney came along,
Yep.
or after Disney came along, everything that they did not classify as canon is apocryphal.
Because
Okay.
for Disney, it may become true later if they
Okay.
decide to make it so.
Okay.
You might say that it's like quantum truth.
So you mean?
Correct.
Great example. So
It exists in both
the
truth and non-truth.
the name of the race that the baby Yoda is said in one of the books.
Correct.
But Disney has not confirmed that yet.
Correct.
So at this moment in time, it is that until
yes,
they.
it is.
Yeah.
It is.
Cool.
The name is apocryphal.
Okay.
Correct.
Okay, I can understand it now.
So it
We're
essentially,
learning things.
essentially, when you use that word, what it means is we're fairly certain that this is not true, but it might be.
Okay. Okay.
So I'm sorry. So what was the contents of said novella?
The novella containing an apocryphal assault of tripods on a small unnamed world.
An assault?
Yes.
Are we talking like tripods like this?
Yeah,
So
we're talking about War of the Worlds.
okay,
He has a copy of War of the Worlds.
amazing.
She has a copy of War of the
She
Worlds.
has. I'm sorry. She has a copy of War. Because the tripods are an actual thing in dark matter.
That's so okay. I got you.
So, and the reason that it's an
was
apocryphal story.
I was hoping that the Australian comedy troupe Tripod would have taken to spacefaring and waging war across the galaxy.
Oh,
I was just picturing that he had.
I'm
like,
not against that.
Wherein Tripod versus the Dragon no longer just becomes a stage play. Or perhaps this is what this is what the novelization is of that show.
I thought it was gonna just be like he had a tripod or she had tripods on just a random planet somewhere, maybe. And I was like, that's okay. And I had a 33.
33. The owner's manual for a commercial starship.
Oh, that's very straightforward.
Oh, cool. I can have 2
I
replicable
am-
items.
Overriding that because there's one next to it that I think fits better for your character.
Okay.
A lucky thwerl's foot.
Thwirl.
A thwerl.
Thwerl.
How do you spell
A
that?
thwerl. Like squirrel with a THW.
Awesome.
Thwerl. A thwerl is a purple multi-eyed squirrel that is kind of like a triple because it eats all of your food, but it also eats magical energy. So when they infest a ship, they start chewing on the power cables. And they're hard to find because their defense mechanism is they psychically make you forget they exist.
So I always know they exist.
Well, you know thwerls are a thing, but you've never seen one that you know of.
Amazing.
You keep forgetting that you have this foot.
So it's like the silence in Doctor Who.
Kind of. But
instead
adorably
of-
dangerous.
Yes.
Yes. As opposed to menacingly dangerous.
So you get a fourth
Oh
language.
man, there's so
Okay,
many
so wait,
things
before we go there-
for
Yeah.
So
replicate
I
magic
think I'm gonna go with a
items.
skill
Okay.
instead
I
of
found
the Mask
mine
of the
for
Wild.
sure.
I think that just makes more sense.
Okay.
And
Weapon wheel.
we were talking about.
A little
Oh yeah.
dial.
So
9
nature
positions,
is like
and I'm just
knowledge
like,
of
boop,
biology and botany and stuff like that.
minigun.
Animal handling is like,
And it just like
working with animals.
changes which
and
one I
animal
have out at a
husbandry.
time.
It's
So seeing as I'm probably gonna have an animal.
So I just want to share
Yeah.
that Sean's magic item is one of my favorite magic items in the setting. It is a weapon wheel. You know how in first-person shooters you hit a number on the top of the keyboard and all of a sudden a weapon comes up?
Yeah.
like
It's
like
basically
the
that.
Doom setup.
It's a little dial that affixes to one of my bracers, and it's like position 1, hammer. Position 2, minigun. And it's just like it's an extra dimensional storage space. It just changes the weapon.
Changes the weapon he's holding based on what button he pushes.
Yeah.
Nice.
That is
I
an
love it.
uncommon item. Wow.
I hoped someone would take that. I'm so happy it was you.
Yep. I will put it to fabulous use.
Okay. Okay. So I mean that's up to you. I will know if we're gonna go the familiar route. Familiars
you don't really need animal handling.
familiars
as much
aren't
for
really
familiar.
animals. They're spirits that take an animal form. I mean, you also get to communicate with them using your own secret language or whatever, and they're kind of like a
okay.
they're kind of like a spirit servant.
So
kind of a thing.
less trinket in Critical Role and more Frumpkin.
Yeah.
So if we're gonna go that route, then I probably don't want to do that, and so I'll probably just go with I think nature.
Okay, there we
Okay.
go.
I think I'm gonna go.
Yeah. So that's going to be the same bonus as Arcana,
So +4.
plus 4. Yeah.
Oh, cool. The right tool for the job.
So, as a level
Okay.
5 sorcerer,
I can magically create one set of artisan's tools. Wow, with Tinker's tools.
Oh, you said I
That's
get another
awesome.
language too.
yes, of your choice.
So I have Common, Elvish, Draconic, and we have a. Is it a gnome?
I think I'd still want an ability score
gnome or dwarf?
improvement.
Cornflakes is a gnome.
A gnome. Oh, that could be.
I took a feat instead of an ability score improvement.
That's what I'm wondering. Like,
As
do
did
I.
I.
Take a, do
Yeah,
I
which
take
one
a-
did you take?
Did you also take a feat at first level?
Can we do that?
You can.
As a human, you can.
So
And-
variant human is +1 to 2 different ability scores.
The one that I saw was +1 to all ability scores.
So that's base human.
Yeah.
There's a variant human that's like kind of considered like let's just use this as the default human. You get +1 to 2 different ability scores.
Okay.
Bonus skill, bonus feat.
Okay.
And the bonus feat very often is that the variant human has there's a huge range of human feats that it basically changes what type of human you are because you can only take it at first level.
Okay.
So let me actually look up where that is.
Yeah, it's in the,
Humans are
That's in Beyond, right?
super weird it's not in Beyond. It's
You
No.
can you
it's
can
in
also
the Dark Matter book.
Oh.
It's in there somewhere.
Racial feats.
there's also some pretty decent racial feats for humans and beyond as well.
There are.
I
Not
didn't know
as good as
humans
elves, but
does the +3 or does the +1 to all also get a starting feat?
no.
What
Okay.
is it? So there's
No, the only thing you get with the base human is a +1 to all ability scores. That's why it's also considered like really boring.
Okay.
Firearm specialist would do pretty well as a feat, right?
Probably.
I'm thinking.
I don't know what it does.
Well, let's see what it says it does.
Is that a
I
dark
gain-
matter feat?
No, it's in Beyond.
Oh, you know what? That's
That's for using actual guns. Yeah.
well, yeah. Also, but you, as an artificer, you would have proficiency with firearms anyway, so you don't need that.
Right.
feat.
Yep.
Yeah. That's if you're playing a standard fantasy setting. And you Yeah. It's basically so that you can play gunslinger. Yeah.
All right, so I went with Dwarvish.
Dwarvish. Nice. Okay.
Cool. So you can hear when I'm cussing away in Dwarvish.
You.
I mean, in
so you're-
Gnomish.
In what?
No, never mind. He won't be able
So-
to hear me when I'm cussing away in Gnomish.
I will.
So
will.
a fun detail. One of the near human variants is a Gru. I knew that would.
Okay. So, font of magic for sorcerer is you have sorcery points.
Yay!
Those are fun.
Oh.
In my day job, I play a divine origin sorcerer or celestial origin sorcerer. I'm doing my night job.
Got 5 for.
Oh, that one might actually be good.
I'm not I have to look at the.
Does the ability score modifier increase
Table, I
on the
guess?
even or the odd?
The ability.
Ability scores bump up
Oh, on
on
the
even
even.
numbers.
The even?
Yeah, it bumps
Yeah.
on the even.
Linguist feat.
Sorcery points column in
Because
the
I want to
sorcerer
know how to
table.
make
Okay.
all of the cool shit,
Oh,
and I have to be able to understand
Sean,
everything.
Sean, I'm going to describe a feat to you. You can decide whether you want it or not. I'm not going to tell you the name yet. I'm just going to describe it. Strength 13 or higher. Your expertise in heavy weapons,
Run and gun.
particularly the impressively impactful rocket hammer, grants you the following benefits. You deal an additional 2d4 instead of 1d4 bludgeoning damage
So
when
that
you
is-
engage the
That is the
thrusters.
feat that I took at level 4.
Okay. Hammer Rocketeer.
Hammer Rocketeer. That is
Good.
the feat that I took at level 4.
You totally took Hammer
Already
Rocketeer.
have
I'm
that
so
one.
excited.
I mean,
Oh,
I think if you're going to go
love
full
it.
Tychus, you should do run and gun.
So
If you can do it with a minigun. I don't know if you can.
I do have the minigun. Yes, yes, it's one of the 3 that you specifically can do it with.
It's a ranged weapon attack. It's not. It doesn't specify.
I think it has.
Sweet.
So I think you get extra bonuses with a minigun because I think there's like 3 of those on run and gun. There's like 3
Okay.
little, and
Right.
I think the bottom one specifically requires a weapon with the mounted property, which the minigun is like
And I
one of
get
2 or 3 that is
special
mounted.
spells, right?
You're thinking of spray and pray.
Yes, I am thinking of spray and pray.
Okay. Run and gun is when you dash, you can
well,
make a ranged
so
weapon
metamagic.
attack as a bonus
You
action.
Yeah, that's
2
not the one I was
options.
thinking of.
Whereas spray and pray
And I think
is
before I went
With the 3
quickened
sub.
and powered.
Yeah.
yes.
Okay.
Quickened and empowered.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Okay.
so I think I am going to go with the alternate near human, but that means I need to adjust my abilities.
And I would want to go artillerist for the artificer specialist.
That's the subclass that I couldn't think of the name of.
Yeah. Okay. Making sure yeah.
Oh wow! So we have drawn a blank on the character's name. So we have Reinhardt. We have Torbjorn. We haven't selected your spells yet, so I
So-
don't know. Jury's still out.
So you're saying 8-Bit Adventures plays Overwatch playing Dark Matter?
Kind
Is
of.
that what's happening right now?
I don't really have a good analog for Lily.
Have either of our
Yeah.
artificers taken the mechanic feat?
I did not take the mechanic feat.
Okay.
What does that
No, I decided to do
It-
linguist. That
it-
way I can understand more languages.
Okay. It seemed like a sensible increase intelligence by 1, You gain proficiency in technology, or you get expertise if you're already proficient.
Yep.
You gain proficiency in circuitry kits, mechanist kit tools, and ship maintenance tools. And you can instantly assess the damage of any device you can see. You determine whether or not an object is repairable, how long the repair can take, how expensive a repair would be, and what tools or materials you might cost. Okay.
I have the technologist background. So.
Okay, so that's kind of...
Technologist background is more of the ability is called vent tape and elbow grease, where it's it says you can just jury rig stuff. So I don't know.
Okay.
How good that or how applicable that will be. It was very non-specific compared
If this
to,
group is anything like the Jamora group, it will be extremely applicable.
Yeah.
I think it's interesting. I didn't realize that there was a different criminal background for Baldur's Gate, and then there's a criminal spy background.
Oh yeah. Baldur's Gate has all sorts of very weird.
And there's
background
also a
stuff.
Baldur's Gate entertainer versus regular entertainer.
I mean, I also picked technomancy as one of my cantrips. So.
Okay.
Yeah, I haven't even got there yet.
So I feel like I'd probably just be good enough at assessing damage without needing a feat to do so.
Ooh.
I also have mending as another cantrip.
So I'm going to make the note that we have about half an hour left in our session 0. So not to speed you guys up unnecessarily, but if we want to be able to run session 1 when we start up,
I guess session-
where do we need to focus?
Session 0.5.
Yeah, right.
I'm just slowly going through Beyond. It's taking me a little bit longer just because there's
There's a lot of stuff.
whole new world
Yeah, no joke.
that I just don't have. This is just like such a, oh my gosh,
Would it be Sorcerer?
so much, my mind
No.
blown.
yeah, that's
So-
not going to work.
You'll want to pick Ritual Caster as Wizard
Well, and of course they don't have just a big book of everything. You know, it's
because
blown through
you want to
everything
pick
else, so I gotta
spells
like,
that are on the
select
wizard list.
something,
Okay.
and then
To be
read
able to
about it and be
ritual
like,
cast.
Do
no,
I
I
also
need to
get
pick
to
something
choose
else.
Right.
from the Sorcerer list too?
Most of the spells on the Wizard
So,
list are also on the Sorcerer
I am
list.
at
Sorcerer has a
choosing my
much more
background.
constrained list of spells than Wizard does.
So I'm almost
Okay.
done with all of my background.
So this is
stuff.
how you're going to get access to Find Familiar.
So am I kind of like double classing?
Not really. This is you get a ritual book. It has a number of spells that you can only cast as rituals.
Cool.
So this means that in order to do like Find Familiar is you're going to have to spend like if it's normally a minute, you'll have to spend like 2 minutes casting it.
Okay.
And then you do get 2 more.
That's what it is. Okay.
Options include Detect Magic, Unseen Servant,
That feat just changed all of
Identify. Identify is
my, how I
always
want to
good.
do my ability.
Okay. I'll take
Allowing
that.
you to identify spell like magical
Performance.
effects or magic items. But there's also comprehend languages, alarm.
What's alarm do? I'm not familiar with that one.
So alarm is you basically ward an area, and what it does is it creates basically kind of like a motion sensor.
Oh, okay.
That when somebody that's not
I
designated
kind of want to
as
pick a, like, is this a proficiency? Yeah. I
a
kind of want to
friend
pick a
enters
tool
the area, it
proficiency
alerts you.
just for
So what about
the
taking
ability for
where is it? Detect magic and
RP.
identify.
Yeah, I mean that's pretty staple.
Okay.
I want to still.
That also means that you wouldn't.
Terrible.
Oh, this is much higher level. Okay, so you do get more
Brewer's
options
supplies
with this
for the ability to make
which
it
include feign death.
So I fake my death.
You fake your death.
That's cool.
Gentle repose.
Well, I don't know what that one did.
Gentle repose is you prevent a corpse from rotting.
Huh.
Illusory script, so you like hide any kind of writing. Leoman's tiny hut, which summons
Oh God, I get
basically
another
sphere,
language.
that for 8 hours that nobody can like come into that you don't
Yep.
want. Magic mouth, which is you basically program a message that when somebody walks by, it plays
Okay.
that message. Phantom steed is you summon a horse, a phantom horse.
Okay.
Skywrite, which is you write a message with clouds.
That's kind of cool.
Yeah. and water breathing. So,
let's see.
Mm,
So first of all, where do I write these ones?
Okay, what is that word?
So you
What does
can
that
write
mean?
them under your spells and just like mark them with an R.
Yeah.
Uh-huh.
All right, so
It's
where-
got to be some like special
I
racial
don't
weapon.
It's
know.
a simple weapon.
So I know spells for me were on a
Artificer.
separate sheet of paper. It looks like this.
I have no idea.
I do not have that one yet,
Okay.
so I'll write them
No
down.
idea.
Yeah.
YKLWA.
Alright, so the first one that I took
Apparently,
was
it is a
Find
simple
familiar.
weapon.
Find familiar.
I don't know.
What was that?
It is spelled YKLWA. It is an option for a simple weapon.
Yilqua.
I don't know what.
Oh,
It is a very short spear.
Okay.
Yeah.
It is the spear equivalent of a short sword.
Okay.
I mean, if you're just looking at simple weapons,
I'm
might I
not into my
suggest?
equipment, so.
Might I suggest you go with an antimatter dagger? You won't find it in Beyond.
I won't find it in Beyond, but
You will
I'll
not
just.
find it and beyond.
I, in
Yeah.
fact, did not take any equipment that was for standard fantasy races because we live in the future.
You do.
I wanted a
Yeah.
laser sword.
I was actually kind of in
So-
the same boat. I didn't want any.
Laser swords are
I think I'm
finesse
gonna have
weapons,
to-
so I don't need any strength.
I did not go for the laser sword. I went for the hammer because I like strength.
Yeah.
but
So with the tiny hut, can I use
Tiny
that?
Hut's amazing.
Is it? Okay. So should I go with Find Familiar and Tiny Hut? Or would you more go with Identify?
Personally, I think Identify we'd get more use out of.
I think yeah. It's a. In general, Tiny Hut can be extremely useful, but if we're gonna be
It's also like,
in a ship already, like
yeah, in a ship or in civilization.
In civilization, yeah,
Tiny
it's-
Hut's like if you're in like ruins and you need to camp for the night. That's
yeah,
you
and that way
cast
you
Tiny
can
Hut.
make sure that you
Don't.
remain safe for 8 hours.
Don't pick Tiny Hut.
No, it's a great spell,
Da-
but not for this.
but
Identify might be a more
I
universal
am,
choice.
I am going to, without providing too much advance information, give you something a little bit meta helpful. Tiny Hut will be useless to you.
as Sean said, because we're in more of a civilized setting.
Plus other things.
Tiny Hut works because standard D&D is fantasy.
Yes.
Right.
In the future, there are options to create, fortified tents.
Okay. So yeah, I'll go with Identify. Then.
Yeah. So you have Identify and Detect Magic
Okay.
as rituals.
So I'm doing circuitry kits instead of the Tinker's tools.
oh, this is going to be awesome. I'm glad you pointed out.
Crunch,
the,
crunch, crunch, all day long.
Yep.
Crunch, crunch, crunch,
Crunch
while I
numbers
sing
and
these songs.
Okay, now I
I'm
need.
glad you pointed out that.
Why does it keep
human
giving you
beings-
more
so
spells to choose?
I did technically go with the standard.
All the
human
spells.
Ah, very good.
to get the feat.
Choose
Okay.
2 first level
That's
spells
skill.
of your choice.
Cool.
Oh, okay. So,
Okay, I think it just keeps giving you options if you keep selecting them. So really, it's you would pick 2. So you
Okay.
pick Detect Magic or Identify.
I'll have to choose one or the other.
Yeah.
All right. So probably want to go with Identify. I feel.
Okay.
Okay, I think I just
Alright.
need equipment.
So
now.
this is a side note
Yes.
of something just for you to have in mind, but not necessarily. I have made the call that when everybody levels up, because we'll be a couple sessions in and you will have been operating your ship for a little bit, you will have settled into being able to receive roll feats.
Yay.
You shall not be picking your roll feats. I will be assigning them based on what you gravitate towards. So if there is a roll
Don't know which
feat
one I'm gravitating towards.
in the
Butter, 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 butter.
Nope. Think more Jacobin. Captain.
Oh.
I need a.
Of course.
I need a coat.
Of course. How did I? You could take that coat as a
yeah.
you
common
could
magic item.
legitimately just take the coat.
It
Yeah.
is an uncommon magic item.
Yeah.
It's a common magic item.
It is a common magic item. All right.
Yeah, the coat. All the coat does is it just billows magnificently.
That's true. It
Okay.
flaps.
Yeah.
So my
The
prosthetic
cloak
limb.
that he has is an uncommon item.
Right.
Is there a place on this thing where I can put my attuned items?
The attuned items is on the page that
on
has
the back.
feats, class features. Yeah.
On the back. Yep.
Also, construct graphs.
Are these cantrips?
Those are not cantrips.
Construct graphs versus attunement. Is my arm both
So
of them?
now, where are we?
Yes.
So,
actually,
cantrips. You know 5 cantrips.
Cool.
That's a good question.
Do I have these ones? Do I have minor
that one
illusion?
feat completely changed my whole build, but it's so much better now. Don't
You
need
do.
Dex
All right.
anymore.
So
Okay, come on,
minor
D&D
illusion.
Beyond. I know you want to
minor
load
illusion.
correctly.
I have firebolt. I
Please?
saw that on there.
Yes.
And then I just need to do equipment,
message.
and I think I'm good.
Yes.
But I need to see my character sheet
prestidigitation.
because I
Yes.
plugged all the
It's
numbers
always
in,
useful.
and then it did the modifiers.
And then one more.
And Mage Hand.
Yes.
Cool.
Yeah.
It's great, isn't it? It's like, I
Yeah.
plug everything in with what I chose with the point buy. But then there's modifiers, and I don't understand
Okay,
that.
so you get first, second, and third level spells. You can know 6 spells.
All right.
I would probably recommend going like
How's this?
3, 2, 1.
This. So I was level 5 before, which is ironic. So I had these 3, these 2, and fireball.
Is this gonna load now?
Okay, so I'm sure you get Witch Bolt. Witch Bolt, okay.
Then I had magic missile.
Magic Missile you definitely get. And what was the
Bold
last?
exclamation
Catapult.
point.
Oh, absolutely.
Yep. Okay.
Well, and this
And
is
then
the
Mirror
thing,
Image
too,
and Misty Step.
is I need to figure out
believe
exactly
those
how
will work.
extra I'm going to be with this
Cool,
prosthetic
'cause I can
limb.
just use my
Incredible.
old thing on my phone.
Mirror, yeah.
No, I mean, am
And
I
then
going
I
to have
definitely
taken
know
the
Fireball is a
time
sorcerer spell, so.
to make
So mirror
it.
image.
It is my left arm, by the way. That is my prosthetic limb.
I like it.
So
And
that's what it was. Okay. See, these numbers changed dramatically.
Yep. Ooh, that was, how'd you
then
get
do
that?
I
so
keep
high?
my same
Nice.
level as
Because
skill
of
points,
my
or-
gnome
I forget what
stuff
no immunity
and my artificer
Oh,
stuff.
your spell
Gotcha.
slots.
Yeah.
spell slot.
Yeah, spell slots will remain
I'm
the same. That
intrigued by
doesn't
what you have
change
in there.
based on subclass or whatever.
Cool.
So if your previous
Ooh,
character was level
I have one of
5,
these
you're going to
coming.
have the same.
Yeah.
Cool.
Funny,
Same
'cause I got my
spell
big
slots.
D20
I
too.
bought a whole bunch of dice on Kraken
And 2.
Yep.
for
Cool.
Black Friday. So I'm getting a Goliath. I'm getting
Okay.
a
The
Goliath.
only thing that's left is your hit
Is
points.
that
And then
like
your
what I have
equipment and
for
stuff.
tomorrow?
Yeah.
And then I have. Do I
yeah.
fill these out?
So
2.
Scattergold?
Yeah.
Okay.
I'm
Oh! I roll that and I get a 20.
I am going to say, by virtue of your race, if you have a blaster that's part of your starting equipment, it may be a gnomish blaster instead of a regular one.
Okay.
Which means it's non-magical.
So it does force damage instead of radiant damage.
Okay.
If you were to buy it on the open market, it would cost twice as much.
Okay.
But it works in anti-magic zones
Okay.
because it is a mechanical device using science as opposed to a magical device using
So
magic.
here's my question regarding the gnomish stuff.
Yes.
How does that interact with stuff that's resistant to non-magical weapons? Like would gnomish weapons be considered magical weapons for that?
They are considered
Although actually I suppose
They-
base stuff
they-
isn't considered magical weapon for that anyway.
they are considered
Okay.
they are considered magical technology, and I'm reading, for the purposes of spells and magical effects that influence.
Okay.
So any time that a spell or another effect would affect some sort of a magical technology, it still applies.
Okay.
So I would say, a blaster without a magic bonus is
Yeah.
not a magical weapon.
Yeah.
It is a magical power source,
Yes. Yeah.
but it is not a magical weapon.
Yep.
A weapon with a bonus
Yeah.
is a magical weapon.
Yeah.
But you can have what is it? a gnomish blaster with a magical bonus.
Yeah.
Oh, you've got an electro dice? Wow, you broke Courtney.
I love this thing. Oh my goodness.
We don't
So
have
we gotta do
time
your
for
hit
you to
points.
break
All
Courtney.
right. So how do I
So you
do
can either take the average, or you can choose to roll.
That's awesome.
Okay.
The only problem is if you roll below the average, you're gonna have to take. If you
So
roll
you
a
didn't
1.
break me, you know.
So if I
You
was
take
gonna
the 1.
take the average.
Okay.
So the average for a D6 would be 4
Okay. So
per level.
So that'd be 4.
So you get 6 hit points at level 1,
Okay.
and then if you take the average, that would be 4 times 4 is 16, so it'd be 22. But then you would get another 10 from your Constitution, so it'd be 32.
Okay.
And then, because you have Draconic Resilience, you get another 5.
So
So it'd be 37.
I'll take the 37.
Okay.
That sounds.
This
like,
is the thing
sounds
that's
good to
throwing me off.
That's more than me, so
is
you're doing
10.
you're
The
doing
thing that's
great.
throwing me off
That's more
is
than I
because
had
on
on
this
my other
character
character
sheet,
by 1.
And I
all
have
of
a
the
D8.
skills are
so,
around the
Nice.
center.
I have no
Like
con
I
bonus.
like it because they're grouped
Because
correctly.
why would I need a con bonus?
But
Well, the other thing
it's
that
jumping around.
I'm
one of the
Just gonna
I
look
think
at,
the reason that is designed that
magical
way, and I
items.
understand that it's visually confusing,
this-
but the other thing,
My initiative, speed, and
I'm
stuff. be the same
reasonably
as my-
certain
so initiative
If
is
you
going to be your
notice
dexterity bonus.
the hexes.
So plus 2.
There's
Your
20
speed
of
is
those
gonna be
hex
30 feet.
rings.
Yep.
So you mark the dot,
Your
so
hit
you
dice
can
is
do
gonna
a
be 5d6.
hex chart of your stats.
Oh,
Okay.
interesting. Kill,
And
kill.
Be-
Okay.
because
and then for
sci-fi.
these, what
Now
am
I just
putting
gotta
in?
make sure that I'm
your
putting
the relevant
in.
ability score bonus. So it's going to be plus
Gotta
1
fill
for
in
all
everything.
of these.
Okay, and so like -1 for this up here.
Yep.
Cool. So I'll do that. -1. This will be +2.
No, I don't want rare potions. Go way beyond. Stop. I want uncommon items.
Does this count for saving throws too?
It does. Out of curiosity, are there any interesting uncommon items for pilots or mechanics?
That is a good question. Let me
Oh, my proficiency
do a skim of that
bonus
for you.
is
Bag of bounty. What is the hospitality?
3. Armor class is 10.
move.
I already have that I can walk.
Graphs, magical items.
Where's my?
Do I put anything in for condition?
No.
Where's my
Conditions
speed?
are
I
bad.
just had it. There we go. That's there. Okay.
Excellent. No
So
conditions.
I have a question about something that isn't expressly said, but I'm positive will come up in this game because I know me.
Yeah.
I have my impulse armor,
Yes.
which gives me an impulse jetpack kinda that basically gives me my move speed as a fly action each round.
Yes.
And I also have Hammer Rocketeer,
Yes.
which the way it's technically worded is that I can double the length of a jump, either high or long, if I jump in and activate the hammer. But what if my flight system is active when I activate the hammer? Because I'm positive that's going to come up at some point.
So
probably tonight.
I would say that mechanically, it would probably function the same as if you were on the ground. You're just worrying about a additional dimension.
Okay.
So if you're using your flight speed, because it's not a multiple of your move speed. It's your move speed and you get to fly.
Right.
So if it lets you increase based on a jump, if no one has a problem with it, I would say it applies to that. If you activate the flight,
Oh, that's where they go. Okay.
Yep.
specifically for the purposes of the hammer,
Right.
because you're riding the hammer.
Right.
I'm fine with that.
going to be a lot of fun.
Okay. Tuck, do we have more of these so when
Oh, yes.
when I'm
Yes.
done with all of this, I can actually make it look pretty
Yes, we
and
totally
readable?
I have 5.
Perfect. Thank you.
Maybe 4 now because I messed up on the first one.
That's kind of, yeah, I'm like, ooh, what's
Yeah.
this?
Alright,
So this
so
is for ships.
I don't know if
And
you've
this is
been
if you're a
looking at
spellcaster,
stuff,
you can
Sean.
spell set.
I
nice.
have
As
been
far as-
looking
Okay.
at regular blah 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 regular
I
uncommon.
didn't pick any spells,
Okay.
but
So,
I have spells.
uncommon items that might be
Yeah, an
of
artificer.
interest
So I just drop
for
certain
your
spells?
character.
Yeah.
I think
And I'm not going to go like
you'll have to look it up and beyond.
Okay.
super
I'm
deep
working
on
on skills
things. It's
first,
more of a
so.
just things that in my head would make sense.
Yeah.
I'll look it up.
Actually, I can just mention all of them. The Ankh of Ra is an uncommon holy symbol, so that doesn't really apply to anybody here. The Attractor Mine is a single-use item that it's exactly what it sounds like.
Yeah.
Let's see. The Dome Projector is an uncommon item. It is an egg-shaped device. When you throw
Use
it at
of
the
your
ground, it
tools and
casts the spell
and cast
Geodesic
spells.
Shield, and it becomes non-magical after 10 minutes, so it's not reusable.
Eh.
The Drone Controller. Set of controls either installed in a glove, integrated on a data pad, or linked to a headset allow you to control a drone.
I was tempted by the drone controller, but
So you can be connected to a defense drone, a medical drone, or a recon drone. And I can give you the stats for a particular drone if you were to pick one.
Yeah.
It comes attuned with one drone attached to it. The Energy Shield Bracer. It's a shield.
so
Yeah.
you are gonna have to do a little bit of prep
The
work on your spellcasting.
Enigma Ring, which
So you can
allows
prepare
you
A certain number of spells per
to
day. equal to-
Is it off of
send
just a straight
encrypted
list, right?
You
messages.
have an artificer
Yeah.
spell list.
Okay, so I just choose off of that spell list, basically.
Because
Spell list is
here's
gonna
so
be
I
huge.
have
I
I have
think
4,
it's gonna be pretty
and actually
huge.
this is where I could use
So you'll pick intelligence.
use some input
modifier
from the
is
group.
half your-
Group.
Yes.
so 4 items that I'm trying to decide between.
Okay.
Braces of Archery.
Yeah.
Kind of boring. They give you +2 bonus to range damage rolls. I get a lot of mileage out of this with
Yep.
my other ranger character. Cloak of Protection, again, kind of boring. Gives you +1 armor class and saving throws. Those 2 are both attuned items. Another attuned item, the Headband of Intellect. This makes your intelligence score 19.
Oh boy.
And then, actually, these are all attuned. But the Hat of Disguise, which is, while wearing the hat, you can use Disguise Self at will.
The intelligence one's pretty cool.
You're an artificer?
I am an artificer.
Up that int, man.
I would say the int, but
Okay. I'm going to go with that then.
Okay.
I also, by virtue of being an artificer, have a bag of holding.
Oh, you chose that as one of your.
I chose Enhanced Defense, Enhanced Weapon, Bag of Holding, and Sending Stones.
I got Goggles
the
of
one
Night,
thing that
Arcane Focus, Prosthetic Limb, and Repeating Shot.
it's not going to be as cool, but might be applicable to your character would be the Ring of Spacewalking.
Okay.
I
think I just
When attuned to
need
the
my
ring, you can
inventory.
breathe
Yeah, so you're
normally
gonna-
and survive
you're gonna pick,
underwater
like,
or
5
in the
cantrips
vacuum
or
of
so,
space without
and
ill
those are the
effect.
cantrips.
While in
You
a
have to-
zero gravity
you need to
environment, you can
prepare
fly at a
after
speed of
long
15.
rest. You're in plus half
Does
your
it
artificer
protect
level
me from
of-
radiation and the
you're
cold
probably-
of the
Leveled
vacuum of
spells?
space?
of leveled spells. Yep. And you can, and then you
I
have a certain
would
number of spell slots, so you can
presume,
cast
based
from
on
that
the
list
Yeah, I have
description,
a
this-
certain number of times. Yep.
This is
That
just
it
all of the
would.
spell
Yep.
slots for here. So
it's a
So then every time
non-spacesuit
you take a long
spacesuit.
rest, you can change that prepared list that you can pull
but
from.
I always know the cantrips.
I think you picked
Although, what are my
5 or
spells?
something like that. That you
I
always
classify
know.
it as, you know,
I need
the
to
travel
do it in
ability on
the,
the Green Lantern. Right?
Yep.
Yeah.
The dark matter.
Yep.
Because I'm trying to. I need to do that.
Let me just look one
So I have
thing
my inventory and
on
then my spells. And
the
that's
artificer,
I think so. Yeah.
because that'll basically
So
make
you
a
have 2
difference.
cantrips.
Is
cantrip
as a
list.
battle
Okay, I was like, yeah, because I've got 2 here.
I can use my intelligence instead of my strength or
With-
dexterity for a bunch of stuff that affects weapons.
I'm not mad at
but I don't
these,
know quite.
But it doesn't show me any cantrips.
Right.
Like, I'm good with these.
Yeah. So there's probably a way for you that's like where like you need to pick 2 of them or something.
Yeah. But none of these are.
Oh, that doesn't
Oh,
actually
mana spells, yeah.
help me. So
So I always.
the headband
have
of
these
intellect
before
would affect
prepared.
my spells.
Okay. Yeah. Must be something about yeah. And
There
then-
we go. There
Yep.
we go. There we go. Okay. Whew. Spells.
On the other hand,
Spells.
I think I am going to go with that ring of
Yeah,
spacewalking.
using beyond for your
Is
spells
that
is a-
attuned?
is a good idea.
That
Oh,
is
yeah.
attuned.
Okay. I'd be surprised if it wasn't.
Yeah, no, it's definitely an attuned. It's an attuned uncommon.
Is there 2?
So
is,
this
is
way,
there a
I can
lot
be
of
Space
different
Leia.
Spells in.
You mean Space Mary Poppins?
Yes.
Is there a lot of different spells in dark matter for? 'Cause-
There are additional spells for.
Okay.
There are spells, and then there are mega spells.
There are
Mega spells affect starships. They affect
yeah.
combat on the starship level instead of on the character level.
Well, because I have to pick 2 cantrips and 6 prepared spells.
I'll look up what the
So,
if there's any
question for you.
spells.
Yes.
Yeah.
Where is the stuff that I have?
Because
in my
I
inventory?
always have Shield,
so-
Thunder Wave, Scorching Ray, and Shatter.
Oh,
that's-
you also need to pick a background.
Not
Okay.
part of my
I
prepared
had
spells.
Outlander before.
Oh, okay. So, if you still want that, Outlander gives you proficiency in athletics and survival,
Okay.
and Outlander gives you a bunch of stuff to start with as well.
What other ones are there? I'm actually not.
There's a lot of backgrounds.
Artificer
Are
is
there
a
any
class.
that you?
Artificer is a class. It's new.
So it wouldn't be in. So what are we using for an artificer spell list in?
Yeah, so
Outlander?
we are improvising to a certain degree because
I was
dark matter hasn't
updated.
doesn't have an updated
Okay.
set of
Yeah.
rules for an artificer yet.
Yeah.
So we are kind of improvising.
I think the only one that I had made an assumption on was technical difficulties, and I was like, if this is not an artificer spell, I don't know what is.
What about technomancy?
Technomancy, I actually picked as my bonus cantrip for being a high elf, so I was like, I don't care if it's on the artificer list or not. But I would also assume that technomancy would be on the artificer list.
So it sounds like you should mostly worry about the ones from beyond that.
Okay. Okay, cool. That was going to be my question. I was
Technomancy is
do
like
I-
a
do
combination
I-
of Mage Hand and Prestidigitation,
Ooh, nice.
but just with technological
Okay.
objects.
That makes
Cool.
sense.
It's like you can switch things on and off or input keystrokes or whatever. But it's like you can't do mechanical stuff like unplug wires.
Sure.
It's all electronic.
Yeah.
So I would say that
So we're gonna
I am willing to,
do this first,
like
'cause this will
Sean
be
sort of
stuff.
described there, I'm willing to discuss within reason any of the spells.
I'll
that
just work
are-
on off
so
of
you can
Beyond.
pick-
Okay,
That'll
that's
be.
all right.
a simple.
And as you get more comfortable, you might
As I
find
get more
some that
comfortable, we
fits.
may discuss like at a level up.
or
Maybe I'll change
any
a
simple
spell.
weapon. You get a component pouch or
Yeah.
an arcane focus, which for you
Because
would
I
be
get
like a
10,
wand
4
or
that I
staff.
always know, and 6 that I can switch
Or
out.
Yeah.
And then I get
So I get to
2,
choose one of these, or
cantrips.
each dot is
So-
there?
So each dot is a separate thing.
and I get to
Alright,
drop
so-
the
So you get to
base.
pick like a blaster or a simple weapon.
I'm gonna take a blaster.
Okay, unless you want a crossbow.
I think
Level
blaster
8
is
is
gonna-
when you can
can
start
always prepare
using
one.
level 4 spells, correct?
Level 7.
Level 7.
Yeah.
Okay.
Spells go up by odd levels.
Ooh, I have one like those.
I like
What,
this. I think this is the
one,
first,
one
like,
of the
set
fun ones that
I
are on the list there.
Yeah.
The fourth level evocation spell,
these.
Earth Shattering Kaboom.
Ooh, I have
So
a Marvin.
you said the arcane
I have a
focus
Marvin on my
is what again?
shoulder.
It's like a staff,
Oh, okay.
a
Let's
rod,
see.
a wand,
I think
an orb.
I'm gonna take a staff.
Okay.
So do I write magic staff?
You can just write staff.
so. I think I am.
So you can get either 2 daggers, which deal piercing
There's
damage,
supposed to
or 2
be an
antimatter
earth-shattering
daggers, which deal necrotic damage.
What's necrotic damage?
Okay.
So necrotic damage is it like
Yeah,
sears away.
if you
at,
roll a
flesh
1
and
on that
soul.
spell, it doesn't do anything.
I want those.
Okay,
So
Whereas
those
if
are-
you
what are
roll
those?
anything else,
just antimatter
it's
dagger.
Ooh.
Just one antimatter.
5d8
You get 2.
thunder and 5d8 radiant.
That's cool.
So Sean, you might know the answer to this.
Yeah.
Why are there some of these cantrips and spells and stuff? They have a plus next to them. Like there's Shocking Grasp and then a plus and Shocking Grasp, and it looks like it's the same thing.
I don't know.
Okay, I wasn't sure if maybe you knew. Because it looks like it's exactly the same.
Normally,
This is a
Then do I
Beyond.
get
Yeah, this isn't Beyond.
the
I was about
Dungeoneer's
to
pack
say,
or
are-
the Explorer's pack?
There are other
See, and-
packs.
do the ones with pluses
in
give a bonus if you upcast the spell?
No, they're cantrips.
No, they're
Oh,
cantrips.
the cantrip. So
Yeah.
And in both of them, it says that they gain damage based on your caster level. I was wondering if one of them was like an updated version.
Yeah, that's what I
Okay.
was wondering.
Maybe
I didn't
both
see
do
any
that.
difference.
Well, then what I
Then-
would guess is that it was a new spell at some point.
They're
Because that's usually what
both getting sourced from the PHB page 275 too.
I don't know, Courtney.
It's
It's
weird.
the same spell. Just pick
Yeah.
one.
Because
Just
Okay.
because.
I just wasn't sure if you
Yep.
just knew anyway
I
or
don't know.
something.
I'm
I
not
just-
tech support.
Is this Wizard
You are
Check
now.
Support?
No, this is not Wizards tech support.
This is Patrick.
If Wizards would like to hire me as tech support,
hello, this is Dog.
No, this is Patrick.
Is this the Krusty Krab?
No, this is Patrick.
this is Sparta.
You just took this to a new level.
I did take this to a new level, because I want to get through this.
So, everybody, we are on the verge of taking a short break. Our group is going to continue working on their characters. In the meantime, I want to make sure that I recognize all of the groups that have made this Session 0 and all of the 8-Bit Adventures Plays Dark Matter series possible. First and foremost, I want to make sure I thank Mage Hand Press, who designed the Dark Matter setting. You can find out more about them at magehandpress.com. I want to thank tabletopaudio.com for the background sound effects that you've heard during this evening's session. For more information about 8-Bit Adventures and to see our regular game, Tales of Jamora, which is currently in hiatus, as well as the fantastic webcomic and art and podcast and all of the other crazy stuff 8-Bit Adventures does, visit 8-bitadventures.com. And we'd like to thank Pittsfield Community Television for allowing us to use their fabulous production studio. If you are interested in producing programming of your own and you live, work, or retired from working in Berkshire County, you too can do something at Pittsfield Community Television. For more information, visit pittsfieldtv.org. If there's nothing else from our brave adventurers who are finishing up their character sheets and hopefully getting themselves ready for our first session shortly, anything?
I don't need cantrips because I have gun. That's all. That is all.
On behalf of the 8-Bit Adventures players, this has been your Galaxy Master, Matthew Tucker, saying, we'll see you after the break. We'll see you next time. I have spoken.
This is the way.